If you'd like to try what we make at Superstition, it's as easy as going to our website, superstitionmeadery.com, clicking on Web Store, and you're shopping. Make sure you follow us on social media because we release new products almost every week, and you might just find your next favorite craft beverage. Cheers.
Hey everybody, we're here today at Superstition Meadery in Prescott, Arizona. My name's Tim. I'm the production manager here. This is Devin. He's our head mead maker. We're going to talk to you about some of our favorite meads. Here we've got Turbo Lover, which is a traditional wildflower mead made in collaboration with Moda Sonora Brewing Company down in Tucson, Arizona. It was made with Belgian triple yeast and aged in heavy toast American oak barrels. Get a lot of the Belgian character coming off on this one. It's pretty fantastic mead.
Yeah, it's pretty close to a traditional, but it has a nice little yeast character on it that kind of differentiates it from some of our other products. Very unique.
Extremely unique. We're going to go through and taste a lot of these things and talk to you guys about why we like them and why we like making them. Beautiful clarity. What are you getting first?
So I get a lot from this. I get bubblegum on the nose. It's very much something you would get from traditional Belgian beers. A lot of honey character as well. So it's very fruit forward, very honey forward. A lot of depth. Really aren't many ingredients in it, but it really pops, and you can taste and smell like 10 different things on it, I feel like.
Yeah, just like wonderful Arizona wildflower honey. Mm-hmm. Great oak character, cinnamon coming through, which you'd get in oak. Sometimes you have something called cinnamaldehyde. It's the compound that produces that cinnamon character. Big on the nose, big honey on the nose. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it smells like honey and candy.
This was really fun. It's like my first week here. Guys from Moda Sonora came up and we made this mead together, and they brought yeast up from their facility, their Belgian triple yeast, that I was able to pitch into this batch, into this must, and it turned out really well with that French oak.
Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite, traditional-esque mead that we make. It really stands out as something completely different.
Right.
And we've switched away from using wine yeast on this. We use the Belgian yeast, and it really just makes the honey pop a bunch of different ways. And that with the oak age, it's looking perfect.
Beautiful thing about yeast, right? I mean, different yeasts are going to produce different flavors, different esters, and getting to experiment with that is one of the funnest things about doing what we do here. The reference, Turbo Lover, Moda Sonora is a motorsports-themed brewery. Turbo Lover is a song by not Pantera, excuse me.
I don't know.
Judas Priest. It's Judas Priest.
You're the metalhead.
Yeah, Judas Priest. Can't believe I didn't remember that right off the top of my head. But God, yeah, this just turned out so fantastic. And watching it come to fruition over the time I, made that first batch and put that yeast in, and then letting it set in cask and really waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and being able to enjoy it now has been absolutely wonderful. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, what we have here is Crystal Sail. It's one of our session meads, one of my personal favorites. I think it's going to be pretty big for us this year. A lot of people are really excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is one of our sessions. They usually run between 5 and 7%. They're a little lighter, a little crispier than a lot of our products, and they're carbonated.
Crispy boy.
It is a crispy boy indeed. So I think that this is probably a good stepping stone. People are coming from the beer world that aren't used to our 15, 16% meads. This is like the first thing they should try. I love this. I wish I had pallets of this at home like we do here.
Yeah. What kind of fruit we got in this?
We got mango in here. So we have a couple different ones. We have Bellini, we have Mimosa, we have Crystal Sail, each focusing on like a single fruit, and then we have some other sessions coming down the pipeline as well.
2 different types of mango used in this. Kent Atkins mango and Alfonso mango. One's a bit more tart, one's a bit sweeter. Using the 2 different types of mango helped us balance this out really well. I was just recently at our restaurant in downtown Phoenix, and I had a Bellini first with our brunch board, and then I had a Crystal Sail, and both of those are absolutely perfect substitutes for Mimosa with the brunch board. It's called the Mimosa brunch board, but these two coming in hot might take it over. I don't know. A little bit more.
Yeah. Can you give me a little re-up too?
Yeah. Refreshing, wonderful. Wow. Beautiful bubbles. Cheers.
Hey, cheers. All right, what we have here is Flamingo Croquet. It's one of our ciders. It's in a series of Alice in Wonderland inspired ciders. It's one of 4. There's a handful of other ones. Rule 42, Griffin's Tart Cherry. What's the last one?
Literary Nonsense.
Literary Nonsense. This is a pepper mead. It's a cider, so it's like a mead cider hybrid. And then we add peppers afterwards.
This is made with Arizona honey, wildflower honey, and organic Arizona apple juice from English Family Farms. Dwight is our friend who brings us our wonderful apple juice. He calls it cider. In America, we call pressed apple juice cider, and the rest of the world, cider is fermented apple juice. That apple juice, we add honey to it, ferment that as a hybrid. It's called a cider. And then what we do is we add New Mexico hatch chilies to this. I'm not a big fan of chilies in beverage, but this one always stands out to me. If you guys have seen other videos, you'll see me there talking about this.
Oh, it's balanced so well.
Yeah.
I mean, the heat, there's a little bit of dry heat from the hatch chilies, and then it's just all apple.
There's a nice overlay of chili flavor as well, which to me you don't get a lot in chili beverages. A lot of the time it's just blatant heat, and we use a blend of mild and hot chilies to try and really get this dialed in to where it's supposed to be. And oftentimes that chili extraction adds a little bit of an orange hue to this mead, which I find really pleasing to the eye. So if we zoom in on the label, you can see it almost looks like a playing card with the flamingos playing croquet in the corner and Alice falling past the Superstition bowl. And each label in the series is designed like that, to look like a playing card, as in Alice in Wonderland. Literary Nonsense has blueberries in it. Griffin's Tart Cherry obviously has cherries in it. And Rule 42 has blackberries in it. That one just came out recently. I think it's rad, really tannic, nice, sweet, deep blackberry. But this one just forever will stand out to me.
The ciders are one of my favorite things to make, one of my favorite things to drink. They've taken a place for beer for me for probably one of my favorite beverages, especially I do with this one. I take this home, blend it with the other ones.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can get some crazy combinations. Rule 42 with this, oof, killer.
Oh, man.
Killer.
I gotta try that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Cheers, Devin.
Cheers.
This is Sherry Barrel Aged Aphrodisia. Aphrodisia is a piment we make. A piment is a grape and honey wine. Come from the old days of ancient Greece, and hence the name Aphrodisia. This particular batch was a Cabernet Sauvignon blend with Arizona wildflower honey, aged in sherry barrels for 10 months. So a take on our our mainstay piment. We do typically 2 batches a year. We do 2 different red varietals. Sometimes it's Syrah and Cab, Pinot, Cab, Syrah, Pinot. We also do a white piment called Snowmelt. It's a Chardonnay piment. This last year we did a Grenache piment that turned into one of the best white piments I've ever tasted, called Vistalia. But I picked this one because I'm particularly fond of piments, and I'm particularly fond of the sherry character in this. And the day we make piments, we get all our grapes like a crush day at any sort of winery. On the same day, we have to process everything, and we're making anywhere from 4 to 6 batches of mead, of piment that day. So it was really fun to get back in that mode and work that long day and experience all these different things that I hadn't experienced in a long time. And then to take a beautiful product like this and put it in a fantastic barrel, the sherry barrel really brought out a lot of beautiful character in it. We're going to taste it now. Oh, yeah. If you've ever had sherry before, you get a lot of deep, rich umami. Some cherry coming through.
Get a lot of cherry.
We also have a variant of this that was aged in a cherry brandy barrel, which is just bam, in your face, cherry candy, fantastic as well. But this one stands out to me. It's almost like it strayed away from mead and brought more wine character to this beverage. That's why it stood out so well to me. Yeah, obviously that sherry was aged in an oak cask before, and we got that freshly emptied sherry cask and put this into it. So it maintains a lot of that character. It's really fun playing with those different barrels and those different things that you can do with these different beverages. The sky's the limit. Your imagination is the only thing that can limit you from doing this, and that's what's so fun for us here is that something pops into your head, you go, hey, we've got this fantastic beverage, and then all of a sudden you go, what about this? And then we do it. We find a barrel, we do it, we make it, it's fantastic.
I personally love when we like jump from wine to spirits or, you know, liqueur to like this. Anytime we switch from like one type to another, and it really just brings out new flavors you couldn't even imagine in a beverage.
Right. I mean, all of these barrels back here, we've got brandy barrels, we've got vermouth barrels, we've got cognac barrels, we've got bourbon barrels, we've got mezcal barrels.
Yeah, the mezcal barrels even wild.
I mean, just crazy stuff we can do. And so to find a sherry barrel for this was unbelievable. We just had to grab it. You know, they had one available and we grabbed it and we went, that's going to be perfect with this cab, Pyment. And it turned out utterly amazing. I think this is a great food mead.
What would you pair this with?
Tonight, at home, I am making grass-fed flat iron steak with chimichurri and fresh arugula on top. And I think this is going to be perfect for that meal.
What time are we coming over?
Cheers.
All right, this is Amante. Amante is one of my favorite meads we make here. It won a gold at Mazer Cup this year. It's in our BDSM series, so there's Belgian dark candy syrup, and there's cinnamon, cacao nibs, coffee, and hatch chilies. I think it's like a balance of a ton of really bold flavors, and it really kicks. Yeah, I think it reminds me a lot of some of the Mexican hot chocolate stouts, but you also you toss in coffee as well, so it's like one other layer. This is like a phenomenal product.
It's like a Mexican mocha almost.
Exactly, a Mexican mocha.
Oh yeah, you can see that dark, rich Belgian dark candy sugar in there. Oh. And just right off the bat.
I smelled it opening the bottle.
Opening the bottle.
Yeah.
It just bursts out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just killer. You know, good way to finish the day. I think I'd pair this with a steak. It's stellar. It's absolutely stellar. There's coffee. You got cacao. You got hatch chilies. You got cinnamon. I mean, he said it. I'm going to say it again. Definitely not a crispy boy, but an evening boy.
An evening boy. Yeah, I mean, that's just as bold and flavor-packed as you can possibly get.
Yeah, I mean, you think, when you look at it, you think big pastry stout.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting that character.
Nope.
It's a bit lighter, a bit more refreshing. Again, I would pair this with a savory dish. I wouldn't necessarily go dessert here.
Yeah, I think a steak or a roast would be perfect with this.
God, really fun to make, too. Incorporating the Belgian dark candy sugar and all those wonderful spices and adjuncts.
Well, cheers.
Cheers up. Enjoy,
Cheers
Amante.
to y'all.